Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of RE414, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called The Great Filters, written by daeomec. We were lonely, so lonely. We wandered for hundreds of thousands of years through desolate space, searching eagerly for life. We scoured the planets of every star, slowly settling on each system that we passed by. We colonized one star, and then the next, and another, until finally our entire galaxy was filled. Yet, we were not satisfied. You see, our species was an old one, similar in many ways to your own. We had fought wars of conquest over scraps of land and materials on the home world, gradually growing in numbers and knowledge. Eventually, we united as one people. We solved the problems that have been plaguing us, and we progressed. Petty concerns like old age and resources were no more an obstacle. In essence, we were truly free to live, to learn, to explore. Our choices were not bound by our bodies, but we were alone. Oh, we had found life on other planets, the occasional single-celled organism, a few plant-based ecosystems. Once we even found insect-like creatures inhabiting a distant moon. Never intelligent life. Your species called our dilemma the Fermi paradox. We called it the eternal isolation. Regardless, the fact of the matter remained the same. Unless we decided to create another sentient race, we would not find any others. We did not create another race. At least, we did not create another one at first. Our species had argued about this for centuries, but we decided not to play God at first. Anyway, we assumed that there were filters, as you named them, preventing intelligent life. In our galaxy, we had hypothesized the existence of two major obstacles. The first was the leap from a single-celled organism to a multicellular ones. The second was the jump from multicellular organisms to sentient ones. Perhaps there were others we did not know. We, of course, had already made it past all the filters, or so we had thought. Millions of years after our unification and exodus from our home world, we stumbled upon your galaxy, the Milky Way. Of course, as we slowly, ever so slowly traveled across your galaxy, we discovered nothing unusual. The planets we found were either barren or barely capable of supporting life. And then we started hearing you. In the beginning, there were only wisps of radio signals, unlike any that we had heard before. Our instruments were delicate and fine-tuned, made to listen to the final breaths of dying stars, intended to advance our knowledge. Glorious devices for a glorious purpose. Yet, even they were hard-pressed to capture your messages. Oh, but did we ever discover anything more marvelous than you? Slowly, painstakingly slowly, we made our way from the opposite side of the galaxy to your own. As we moved closer, we reveled in your development. Your muffled sounds soon became grainy pictures, and every tiny step forward was cause for more of our own celebration. As we inched closer to you, our understanding of you grew stronger. Through the signals and transmissions you had cast off into the void, we learned of your lives, and we fell in love. We fell in love with the vibrancy of your culture, the sheer variance and breathtaking volume of your society. You were young and wild and passionate, and everything we once were, and yet were no more. Remember, we were not just a lonely people, but a stagnant one as well. We had advanced to a standstill. We had unknowingly sterilized our own culture in the name of progress, something we did not realize until we met you. Finally, we found physical proof of your existence. A lonely probe, an old traveler from ages ago. You called it Voyager. We called it the Messenger. We were ecstatic, utterly overjoyed at the solid corporal, undeniable proof that another intelligent species existed. No longer were you figments of our transmissions. You were real. We sent the messenger back to our pristine home world, a place that had become sacred to us. We planned to install him in a place of honor, a place worthy of him. We sent him back, and we moved forward, closer to you. The little ones, we called you, yes. We knew your actual name, but we preferred the name that we had given you. The diminutive we reserved for the few we loved. Evidence of your existence grew stronger. We were bombarded of signals. We were bombarded by signals of your civilization, of music, of movies and internet and holograms, and we were utterly astonished at the rapid rate of your progress. Perhaps by the time we reached you, your species would be more advanced than ours. After what felt like eons, we arrived in your solar system. Our ships approached your homeworld, and we found nothing but a desolate wasteland. We had been in love with the grave. We had loved the ruins of a civilization more beautiful than our own, more beautiful than any fantasy that we could have dreamed of. The civilization too beautiful to last. A civilization that had never made it past the great filter. End of story. Story number 2. The Hathi, written by Dicemonger. As the massive generational ship approached the small red dwarf star, it turned around, and massive thrusters started firing. 147 years the ship had been in transit. Its frontal ice shield was marred by countless collisions, and systems had been repaired, then repaired again, and then jerry-rigged to survive the last few decades until the destination. But now it was here. Over the next months it passed first the Oort cloud and the outer icy planets, and then the gas giants. Day by day, getting closer and closer to its destination, even while continuing to shed velocity. The destination was unlike Earth in many ways. It was 4 times the mass of Earth, supporting a respectable gravity. It also was closer to the sun, though, given the size of its sun, actually at the outer edge of the Goldilocks zone, which allowed for liquid water. This was somewhat alleviated by its thick atmosphere, which helped trap the sun's heat. Hardly a place suitable for human habitation, even if its atmospheric composition hadn't been pure poison to the human organism. What it did share with Earth was life. What's more, it had intelligent life. It was the 4th confirmed instance of intelligent life that man had uncovered. The first had been a civilization near the center of the Milky Way. Despite the distance, it left indisputable signs once you knew what to look for. Signs like artificially forming wormholes and stars dimming beneath Dyson spheres. Man didn't feel quite ready to attempt contact with them. The second civilization had been uncovered from their radio bursts from the Perseus arm. They were believed to be a dead race. Their radio beacons, the tombstones over a race which, as far as the linguists could figure out, had succumbed to self-inflicted disease. The haunting music that the beacons also transmitted had saddened humanity, and now lived on in human culture. The third had been a scant 120 light-years away. This Skillo had sent humanity a message, and humanity had answered. When the generation ship left, humanity was still waiting for a reply, but science had revealed no faster than light travel, and 120 light-years was too far to send a ship without an invitation. And then the 4th instance of intelligent life was uncovered. Their radio signals strained from the background noise of the universe, and they were close enough that humanity could send a ship and see it reach its destination in living memory. Humanity teased their signals from the aether, and they learned of the Hathi. They pieced together their language, and then they learned of their music, of their religion and politics, and of their stories. The Hathi were a species bound to their planet by its gravity well, forever unable to leave it. But their stories showed them looking up towards the sky. Their science fiction dreamed of some quirk of physics or miraculous happenstance that might allow them to finally leave their world, to join all the aliens they believed might be out there, and to explore the stars. Humanity decided to give them that miraculous happenstance. Humanity had colonized 5 star systems using the generational ships. The stars colonized might be a lot closer than the Hathi, but technology was mature. They knew that it could be done, and so a new generational ship was built. And now it was here. As the ship approached the planet, antennas were extended, and signals started streaming between the humans and the Hathi below. Vocabularies were perfected, relationships were forged, friendships were made, and preparations were conducted for the final act. The ship had reached geosynchronous orbit and stopped there. More conversations were had. The suspense was palpable as more months of preparation proceeded, and then one day the ship started lowering a cable from the ship. The enormous spool that formed in the center of the ship unspooled slowly, lowering the cable towards the surface of the planet, foot by foot. It took a year for the cautiously descending cable to reach the surface. The Hathians caught it and secured it to an anchor station that they had prepared. The first trip of the space elevator went down, and as the first humans in their exoskeletons stepped out onto the surface, they were greeted by millions. The second trip on the space station went up. It carried only a few of the humans that had went down, because most of the room was reserved for the Hathian pioneers. As they stepped off the space elevator, they joined the humans as a space-faring civilization. And in the centuries and the millennia that followed, they were together. Through the meeting and merging with the Silo, the conflicts with the Perseus Federation, the war with the core intelligence, the humans and the Hathi were always together. The humans that had found their aliens, and the Hathi who had found their stars. End of story. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's edition. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's edition of Tales. I'd quickly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.